And now, let's take a look at what's new at BoardGameBliss.com with Nick Meanahan. Hey now people, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and it is time for another What's New at Board Game Bliss segment. This is where I tell you about some of the newest and hottest and just most interesting releases currently out at BoardGameBliss.com. My magnificent sponsor, one of the coolest sponsors anyone could ever hope to have. I'm telling you, and I say this all the time, the reason I wanted Board Game Bliss to be my sponsor is because I was already shopping there because they're such a great store. Not only do they get the hottest releases that you would expect, they have so many weird esoteric games, things that, not even just weird games, but just games I've never heard of before. And I'm like, what is this? I want to know more about this. Games that were never released over here that have been out for a couple of years over in Europe just because they never had a bigger distribution network. And good games, interesting games. So do check them out. You might be surprised by some of the things that you find there. So what I'm going to do now is just tell you about some of these newest and hottest releases. And of course, these are not supposed to be reviews of these games. I actually have played some of the games that we're going to talk about today, or I've purchased them and have some opinions about them and just haven't played them yet. But that doesn't substitute for a review. I'm just telling you about them. Hopefully you will make up your own mind. Go check them out on the website. If I think that I don't like a game, I'll tell you that as well, but I'll still present you with the information. So without further ado, let's get to it. First up is Code of 9 from Z-Man Games, and not only have I played this game and reviewed it, I actually enjoy it quite a bit. I actually have my original version of the game. This is the original Japanese version, which at that point was called Old World in Code of 9, otherwise known as Awakan. I believe the Z-Man edition of the game has got some component upgrades. I actually have my own copy of that one coming in soon, and I'm going to check it out and do a secondary review just to go over the new stuff that's in it. But this can be a polarizing game, I'll admit, but I really enjoy it. It's very, very simple worker placement, but with an awesome deduction element where everyone's got secret goals that apply to everyone, but part of the game is figuring out whether those goals are going to totally screw you up or not. So that's what some people don't like about the game, but I really enjoy it. So check it out if you can. What do you mean if you can? Of course you can check it out. Check it out. There. That's what I'm telling you to do. The next game we're going to talk about, I actually have 2 copies of. It just happens to be that way. It's called Many Cinderellas, and I actually have the original Japanese version that I did a preview for, and then I got my hands on the final English version of the game after it was off of Kickstarter. And it actually is a very quirky and fun little game about trying to narrow down who you think Cinderella is based on your criteria. You have a candidate for Cinderella that you want to put forth, and you need to eliminate variables in order to make the candidates in your hands viable. It's a bit of a micro game. It's very simple. It's very light, not to be taken too seriously. I like the artwork quite a bit, very spare Japanese artwork, and it works very well. I dig it. That is Too Many Cinderellas. Now, I own the next game that we're about to talk about, but I have not played it yet. In fact, I punched all the stuff and it's just rattling around on here. I didn't even bag it yet. It's called The Little Prince Rise to the Stars, and it's from Asmodee and Ludonaut specifically, but more importantly, it's from designing powerhouses Antoine Bauza and Bruno Cathala, which Antoine Bauza is outright one of my favorite designers, and Bruno Cathala is up there pretty far too, so you need to take note whenever those two collaborate on a game. But in this case, this is supposed to be like a more family-friendly version of Tokaido, although I've heard people who like this even better than Tokaido, like actual gamerly gamers. But still, at its core, this is supposed to be a family or even children's game based on the Little Prince movie that is either coming out in France or is already out in France, the CGI film, which I would actually like to see. I would say that I'm not into fairy tales, but when I was a kid, the one I liked the most was The Little Prince. It's really one of the fairy tales that really spoke to me when I was a kid. So I wanted to try this game out for that, for the designers, for the artwork of it. I can't speak to how good it is right this second, but hopefully it's good. Maybe you should give it a shot too. Okay, I have this next game too, and I haven't played it, and this was just a wild shot in the dark for me. This is called Duplic from Asmodee, and it's kind of a weird Pictionary-style game, but you're drawing a picture in secret, and the other players have to you just try to describe it, giving clues to the other players, then they have to sketch it and try to get as close as they possibly can to what your original sketch was. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's that great or not. It was just the price was right for me, and it just seemed interesting. I like these party-style games, and hopefully it's fun. What can I say? But it is available at BoardGameBliss.com if you want to check it out. Tragedy Looper is one of my favorite games of the past few years. It's also a very innovative game. I think it won the Innovative Award for the Dice Tower Awards, or it came very close at least, because I was doing the voting for that. I was tabulating the points, and it came very, very close to winning if it did not win. I can't remember right now. And I have Tragedy Looper right here. It's an awesome game. There is an expansion out for it now that kind of snuck under everyone's radar. No one's really talking about it, even though a lot of people loves Tragedy Looper, but it's called Midnight Circle, and it mixes together a couple of expansions from the original Japanese version. All that it is, as far as I can tell, I don't have my copy in hand yet, is a bunch of new scripts for the game, which essentially is new scenarios if you're not familiar with it. So I don't think it's going to add anything drastically different. It might add new character cards, I'm not sure. It's probably not going to change anyone's mind about the game, but if you already love Tragedy Looper and you already burned through all the existing scripts, I haven't even done that yet, then you should definitely look into getting this one. Mafia de Cuba was a bit of a sleeper hit of this past Gen Con. It wasn't getting a ton of buzz, but the people who played it there loved it. So that game is a French import of it is actually available at Board Game Bliss. There are English rules available on Board Game Geek somewhere. If you go on the Board Game Bliss page, one of the things I love about Board Game Bliss is that they will actually put links to the Board Game Geek page and any relevant files that you need to play imported games like this, which is awesome. So in this case with Mafia de Cuba, it's like a hit and roll game, but it's got some twists and turns to it. Like you actually get to choose what your role is, and then depending on the actions that the head of the mafia is taking, it's kind of a weird thing to describe. Like you're passing around a box. It seems really interesting to me. I can't wait to try it out. I think I'm going to be ordering myself a copy of it very soon. So if you're interested as well, take a look. Aura at Labora is one of the classic Uwe Rosenberg designs, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this game. I've never seen it played in person at any of the game groups that I've ever been to. I don't even think I've ever seen a physical copy of it. Nevertheless, it is in the top 100 games of Board Game Geek, I believe. I don't think it's fallen out of there yet. So it is a very, very loved game amongst Eurogamers, and I think it was out of print for a very long time, but now I guess it's back in print. Or at least Board Game Bliss has access to some copies of it. I don't know if this is a new edition or whatever it is, but I don't know much about the game. I know that it uses a lot of the same mechanisms of games like Agricola, but also from Uwe Rosenberg, but I think it twists and turns it in different ways that make the game, some people just love the game, some people don't like it as much, but again, enough people love it to really skyrocket it to the top of the Board Game Geek chart. So if you're interested, take a look at this new printing of it. Churchill is from GMT Games, who also did a game called Twilight Struggle. I don't know. It's kind of an indie sleeper game. You've probably never heard of it. That's okay. I don't think it's really going to go anywhere or do anything big. But Churchill, however, looks pretty interesting. This is not described as a war game, despite the fact that it takes place during World War II, and it is exactly for 3 players. Think of the game Three Kingdoms Redux that I did a brief review for. You need to have exactly 3 players, from what I can tell, and you're taking control of what are called the Big Three. Churchill, Stalin, and FDR. And it's not a war game. You're just sort of like in a power struggle, sort of like how that game Twilight Struggle is. If you've ever heard of that game, I'm sure you haven't. So it seems pretty interesting, and I know that some of the people that I know who are either into war games, despite the fact that this is not a war game, but who just love historical themes, are just like frothing at the mouth for this one. It's been getting a lot of buzz amongst those types of circles, so check it out if you're in those circles, I guess. And just real quick, I'm going to wrap up with 2 games that I know next to nothing about, but they just seem really interesting as far as the artwork and the theme. You have Pirate Tunes, which has, I'm not actually into pirates that much, but this looks like a family-friendly game of having a pirate ship and building a pirate ship and being the best pirate ever. It just looks like it has really, really great components. And speaking of that, you have Fleet Commander Ignition, or Set 1 Ignition, which is a game I've never heard of, but it has a really cool science fiction theme, and there's miniature ships, and you're moving around trying to conquer the enemy fleet. That's all I know about it, but it seems pretty interesting. And this is an example, both of these games, of games that have actually been out, I guess, since Essen last year, or around the same time as Essen last year. Never heard of them, but they have actually pretty good ratings on Board Game Geek. So just goes to show you that sometimes good games just fall through the cracks, and if you're interested in finding out more about them, check out Board Game Bliss, check out Board Game Geek, you'll get more information there, then go back to Board Game Bliss and consider a purchase. Why not? What are you going to do with your money anyways? You're just going to buy, like, junk food? you know, junk food is not gonna, you know, play games with you. So, you know, buy games. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying at the end of the day. I don't know. It's late and I'm tired, but do check out BoardGameBliss.com. They're an amazing sponsor, and I hope that you guys patronize them as much as possible. And I wouldn't tell you to do that if I didn't really believe in them. They're a fantastic store with a great selection and awesome prices. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.